Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online news video with me, Sherman. Today we're taking a look at patch 5.3.3 for the PTS and the Harrowstone DLC and update 25. And again, I have to say I'm not surprised. There is not a whole lot to this because I think that they are doing a lot of back-end work, a lot of performance work, things like that, trying to make sure everything stays stable and working properly and such. But we'll go ahead and get into these patch notes. So as you can see, it says the Elder Scrolls Online PTS patch notes, final PTS patch notes, sorry, 5.3.3 before the Harrowstone DLC launches on PC and Mac on February 24th, which is actually 2 weeks from now, which is surprising because they said that this is the final week of PTS. So if you look, that's 2 weeks we're going to have this on PTS. And we're not going to have another week of another week for patches on this from the 17th through the 24th. And I think this is to make sure stabilization and all that stuff is working properly. I think they'll do a quick fix patch before it goes live, but it will be, like I said, performance stuff, nothing major to the degree of anything else. And then, of course, if you go down here and we scroll down, Harrowstone got some fixes. The appropriate buggles appear on the Windhelm scale tunic chest piece when equipped. And then they did some general fixes on some stuff in Ice Reach. Sister Skelga will no longer use her Steel Essence ability immediately after teleporting. Vergroth the Shambler no longer has a chance to become unresponsive during the encounter, and then now always animates during the Burning Ground ability. Mother Cannonate got some fixes. Unhallowed Grave general fixes, and then Undagore the Mad, and again Jalner Tombskull got some stuff. No longer invisible to monsters that can be healed or in the encounter. Some minor fixes or minor stuff to the Bloodroot Forge. Now correctly faces the encounter on the island when throwing his weapon. Some other stuff. And then combat changes. So combat and ability got some minor changes. So Lava Whip, Flame Lash, the special attack from this ability, Power Lash, or from this ability, Power Lash can now also be cast on enemies that are immobilized and reverted the cooldown back to 3 seconds. And then they explain why. I'm not going to get into it. Helping Hands, this is the Earth and Heart ability. This passive no longer triggers off stamina, costing Earth and Heart abilities, namely being Stone Fist and Stone Giant. So they do give developers, while the numbers previously balanced themselves out with a higher cost on Stone Fist, but the return on this passive, it made using the ability early or when low on resources overly penalizing. We've opted to simply reduce the cost to a normal amount and implement an exclusion so it does interact with this passive, resulting in a less polarizing experience with this ability. Stone Fist, they reduced the cost of this ability in Stone Giant morph to $22.95 from $34.43. And then the Stone Giant, this morph now applies stagger to enemies hit by the initial cast to help improve the impact of landing the cast time. Two-handed Dizzying Swing. Enemies hit by this ability that are immune to off-balance are now snared by 40% for 2 seconds. They give an explanation. We're not going to get into that as well. Soul Magic Soul Trap. They fixed an issue where Soul Trap and its morphs would not clear when clearing off all spent points when respecking. And then itemization and item sets. The big one is in here, guys. So Armor of Truth, this set now grants its bonus after dealing damage to enemies who is off balance rather than after setting them off balance. They give a reason, of course. We're not going to get into it. Critical Reposit, increase the duration to 9 seconds from 4 seconds, and they increase the cooldown to 10 seconds up from 7. Don't think it's going to help. Drugger's Rest fixed an issue where this set wasn't triggering off its stated requirements. Drogkin's Grip removed the proc chance from the set, increased the damage to 617 up from 530, and increased the cooldown to 9 seconds up from 6. We'll have to take a look at that one. Essence Thief. This set now displays a beam of light invisible to the wearer when the sigil spawns in and finalizes its location in order to help increase its visibility in visual noisy areas. The big change, Ice Heart. Reduce the size of the shield to 5,000 down from 6,050. This is a perfect amount for this shield because even with all the CP and everything, it should go to about roughly, depending on the person, it can go as high as 6k. That's going to be more than enough to be viable for solo play, and it's going to make this set solo friendly very well. They also reduced the cooldown to 6 seconds from 12. That is a big change, and this is going to make this set good. Not great, not phenomenal, but a good set to use for solo play, and it also for those running Maelstrom Arena and even soloing some dungeons. And they go into a developer's thing here. Based on much of the feedback this set, we decided to have the baseline function meet the same standards as the Mother Candidate set, with a 5k shield that lasts 6 seconds with a 6-second cooldown, with Ice Heart's auxiliary function being focused on preserving the shield to maximize its damage potential, and Cannon at about rushing in boldly to break the shield and gain as much magic as possible. There's a much better parity between the two sets that helps them both meet our overall item set power standards, as well as feel different from an engagement point. So the candidate set is actually really good for what it does and how it works. The triggering mechanics, all that stuff. Jolting Arms. Slightly redesigned the set to operate more efficiently on the server, resulting in a fix for the bash damage failing to apply properly in most cases, and turning its numbers to be more appropriate for a set with its level of engagement. They reduce the amount of armor granted to 4260, down from 6450. The bonus damage now adds a flat 6086 damage to your bash attack rather than a separate 5805 shock damage. This will make this set really good for those people who want to play more of an offensive sword and shield user who can get in close, use that armor for the high resistances and stuff, and then when enemies get close, they can bash them and actually get some decent damage out of it. This will play really well into that set, and I like that they did that. But they should have changed the name from Jolting Arms, I think, to something else, because Jolting Arms does represent that it would do shock instead of doing just physical damage. So. And then they updated the tooltip to properly mention the cooldown of the damage bonus. So, Vulcan Scoria, they fixed an issue where this item set could proc multiple times at once. If hitting a large number of enemies, it can and could, and that's what made it so good. And then Zon, the ramping damage bonus from the set, now has a maximum of 5 stacks to match its duration to prevent it from becoming widely powerful when used in conjunction with duration extension bonuses like Elfbane. This is a good change, but it's still not going to change Zon from being an OP set. Zon is still going to be a widely used high power set for a lot of high damage builds. So this is still going to be used by a lot of people. Not as much as it could be, but it will still be used. So combat and gameplay monster abilities, Dwarven the Spear got some adjustments. Furnishing stuff adjusted recently, renamed Burton Runner Border, whatever. One more time to Breton Carpet and Green to avoid having 2 furnishings with the same name. Fixed a common crash that could occur in Cyrodiil. Improved memory management in the physical system, which leads to lower likelihood of memory-related crashes. Anniversary Jubilee, they fixed an issue where the Jubilee cake mementos would not hide personality prompts in your character's hands. And then the Greymoor Prologue quest got some major fixes and adjustments. So, let me take care of something. Alright, sorry about that. They also fixed an issue where it was too easy to get bounty taking the mud crab apples. Then if you go into this other stuff, there's a lot of fixes for the gamepad mode for PC, which is really good. Well, a lot of people like to use gamepad on the PC. Don't blame them. It can work out to your advantage, especially if you have some issues with keyboard and mouse manipulation, you might have carpal tunnel or other things that cause problems, this can really play into your advantage, and I'm glad that they did these fixes. So other than that, that's pretty much it for the patch notes. There wasn't a whole lot of changes. I am glad that they did fix the Ice Heart Dilemma. It doesn't make it a phenomenal set, like I said, but it does put it back into play and in good use for the solo players and stuff like that. And I have been getting asked a lot of questions. I'm going to go ahead and answer a few of these things real quick, guys. Yes, I am working on builds. I'm just not doing it on the PTS at this moment. I wanted to make sure they had all this stuff finalized before I started doing testing of builds and stuff and getting them ready to go live starting next week. So starting next week, I'm going to start releasing builds on Monday. I'm not starting with anything that I normally released in the past. I'm actually going to be doing a whole bunch of newer type builds based on some of the new sets, based on older sets in combination with the new sets and things like that. And moving forward, going back and doing some of my older builds, but updating them with some of the new changes that have happened to the game to give them more reliability to those, to the way that they played in the past, so that they can have more functionality and things like that. So expect a lot of those things to be happening here soon. Other than that, I am taking some time off. I had a shoulder injury recently that's been causing me some problems. I'm actually in physical therapy for it and some other stuff. Getting it taken care of, it is doing much better, so it's going to allow me to get back to doing my job of YouTube content, which is nice. But it does cause me some problems from here time to time and things like that. So it makes it hard to actually play games and stuff. So but hopefully now that I'm getting this taken care of, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to properly, like holding myself in a certain position when I sit and do my work. That's what was caused the shoulder problem in the first place, was the way I was sitting at my desk and working. And now that like I said, now that I've got that under control, it's starting to help out a lot more, and it's allowing me to get back into gaming and stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of what happens, and life does some crazy things sometimes. So, but that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you guys know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and this guy might see you in game. Bye.